Let's fucking go. This is the Outlaw Apostle Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Neff. I'm the fucking guy and the other fucking guy in the room here as we take off on a Wednesday morning here in Arizona. Leo, what's going on, brother?
Not much, man. Just another beautiful morning.
Another beautiful. You know what? The temperature's starting to go back
Starting
down
to
to
drop.
100.
I'm telling you.
From
Temperature's getting
110,
nice.
115. And this morning, it's really nice this morning, isn't it?
I haven't been outside this morning.
Oh, my God. You could even go for a bike ride, man.
Is it really that nice?
Yeah, it's that nice, and you wouldn't die.
No heat
Which
stroke
is a
for
good
us.
thing. Which I think I'm going to start riding again. Here, throw some cardio into my workout.
Hell yeah.
See what happens.
No, that's honestly probably smart. I also need to get it back into the cardio and because my conditioning is
Conditioning shit right now?
Not very good. Yeah, it is not very good.
Well, we only have Dawn doing just a minimum amount of cardio. She usually does 20 minutes in the morning when she gets up, and then she'll do it like another 10 minutes when we get to the gym as a warm-up.
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of built into her body and physique, and we've kept it that way.
Mm-hmm.
But now that she's training to compete, we're not increasing the cardio yet. We're going to leave that card for later on. And things are starting to pop for her. It's pretty amazing. So she's closer and closer, and we don't need to be there too soon. But, yeah, we'll hit the cardio, but it's time for me to hit that too. Time for me to get in there.
The weather is dropping, so it's the perfect time
Yes,
to start getting into it.
Yeah. And it forced me, I got up earlier, and I get more done when I get up earlier too. And sometimes I can be really disciplined about that, but when you stop being disciplined about it, it's hard to get back to, just like anything. Just if somebody stops going to the gym or if somebody stops eating well and start making bad choices, you have to push through to be able to get that back going again. So Dawn and I were talking and just sharing some stories about our youth, times in school and where we worked and did different things like that. And Dawn worked at Wendy's.
Wendy's, okay. All right.
She worked at Wendy's. Yeah. We were just talking about different things like that and, our time in school. And I don't know what brought it up, but, I was in FFA, Future Farmers of America, which was a club, usually VOAG students. You didn't have to be VOAG, but 90% of the people in FFA were also vocational agricultural students or took that class.
Mm-hmm.
And if they didn't take that, they took shop class or something else, similar like that. But the class was vocational ag. The club was the FFA. And, we did things kind of like 4-H, raising animals, doing things like that.
Okay.
And somehow we're on food and animals and the killing of animals. And it just occurred to me that this could never happen today, ever. So 2 of the things we did, I'm going to tell you about both of them. 2 of the things we did in vocational agriculture is, one, they took us to a slaughterhouse.
Okay.
A real legit slaughterhouse.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And we watched them shoot and kill a steer. Can you imagine I'm pretty sure they didn't send permission slips home to our parents. Like, hey, on Thursday morning, we're taking your kids to a slaughterhouse and they're going to see a steer killed. Let us know if you don't want them to participate, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that happened. But can you imagine if that happened today without a permission slip?
It'd be some chaos.
People would flip the fuck out. Yeah, they actually almost like think of it like you see bull riding when they're in the little fenced area and can't really move
Mhm.
much. That's basically the kind of
Like the
thing
killing chamber.
that they're in the slaughterhouse.
Mm.
And I don't know what kind of slug, but it's some kind of slug, and it's right up to the forehead, right in the front, and they go down fast. Like it's 2-3 seconds. It's immediate. It's probably I can't think of a more humane way to do it. It's instant. That's it. And the other thing that we did, this is even funnier, is we went to a pig farm, like a big pig farm. Like
Okay.
they had a couple thousand pigs or something like
Okay.
that. They
Wow.
had a lot, right?
Okay.
And I actually held a baby pig by its hind legs,
Mm.
upside down, like I volunteered for this
Yeah.
to hold the pig, while the farmer put a slit in his nutsack, popped out his balls, and castrated the pig.
Wow. Got an up close and personal shot.
That was up close and personal. But again, can you imagine?
Something like that happening today.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna take your
Unless you're
kids to a
signing up on
farm,
it,
and
there's no way.
yeah, they're gonna watch pig's nuts get cut off. But the kids too. It's not just that. I think how many kids wouldn't want to see that now? They're just too soft.
I was about to say a good amount of
A
people
good
would
amount to
probably
be
not
like,
want
oh,
to.
that's gross. Nope. Holding the pig, cutting his nuts off. One slit. I guess they used to make 2 slits, and that was long time ago. Because it was a long time ago when I did. Obviously, when I did this, if I was in
Mhm.
school, it's 40 years ago, or a little over 40 years ago.
Yes, I
So
actually didn't even
way
think about it
before
like
that, yeah. Yep, just one tiny slip. And people are like, did he squeal? Of course he fucking
Yeah, of
squealed.
course.
Would you fucking
Yeah, I was about
squeal
to say.
somebody was fucking with your nuts? Of course. Just things you can't do today. Just a stupid, lighthearted way to start the show. And to continue on the lighthearted thing for a moment, yeah, can you see in the picture? Can you see my Alice in the
They
video?
can see the very top head, but if you want
All
to
right.
pull it back just a
I
little
will
bit,
pull it back so people can. Oh, I want people to see my Alice.
boom.
How about there?
That is perfect.
That's perfect. Of course, we have our Caitlin. Oh, bad news for the Fever. Did you see?
I do not. What happened to them?
Sophie Cunningham fucked up her knee on Sunday. She's out
Oof.
for the rest of the year.
Rest of the year.
Rest of the year.
Yikes.
That's not
gonna be
good, dude. So even now when Caitlin comes back, she's not going to have her bodyguard.
She'll be there, but she'll be there in crutches.
Something like that, or a knee brace, or
Have her on a scooter
whatever
or
she's
something.
in. Yeah. So the Funko Pop there, people like to say I'm hard to buy for, apparently. But I think I'm pretty easy to buy for because if you look around, it used to be golf stuff would be easy. Pittsburgh Steelers, something with the Pittsburgh Steelers on it, anything like that. Harley Davidson. I mean, these are pretty easy things. But again, I do have a lot of shit. So people are like, God, dude has everything. What am I gonna buy? Well, one of the things I've talked about over the years is wanting to have my own Alice. And by having my own Alice, I mean having my own living maid, like on Brady Bunch. And I grew up, you got to understand, Brady Bunch was right up there near the top of TV shows that shaped my life as a little kid. I think most people, I don't know if it happens anymore with the youth, but it did up to not too long ago, and maybe it still does, that there were always TV shows that defined us. And for me, the number one was Happy Days. Everything I learned about life and girls was from Happy Days, and the Fonz. And it was good. I loved Happy Days. I don't think I ever missed an episode ever of Happy Days. And the Fonz was one of the coolest. He's not as an adult, but but definitely the character, the Fonz, was one of the coolest characters of all time, especially when it came to chicks, because he could snap his fingers. Can you imagine if they had a show today where a man snapped his fingers and women came tapping over like, oh, hey, Fonz, and put their arms up, like being submissive like that?
Mm.
Good Lord, they would freak the fuck out, man. Oh my God, the show. You people are, yeah. It's just neat to think about how much that's changed. But yeah, so Alice just took care of the family, and I like being taken care of in that way and having things done for me. And so I put it out there, and I believe in the law of attraction. And I'm at least a step closer now because my office manager, Edie Trulock, saw this, and she's seen my other recent purchases of Funko Pops, and just had to get it for me, and did yesterday as a little gift, and it just made my day. I now have an Alice Funko Pop, so I'm a little closer to having my own Alice, my true Alice. Yes. Yes. Yeah, or a chef. I could do a chef too. Chef would work. It's all coming. Things I still want yet in my life. And the way we've been eating out, I'm pretty sure I can afford it.
The chef, yeah.
If I told people what we spend eating out, they'd be like, oh my God.
Be really upset about it.
Let's say it's more than rent and a house payment.
Impressive.
Easy in a month. That's a lot.
On food? Most people would agree with that. Yes.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's getting up there. It is. So I'm just thinking, for that same amount, can I
hire
have somebody hire a chef? Which
not a
wouldn't be
bad idea.
But I like
it's not
going
a bad
out.
idea.
I know, it's not a bad idea. It's really not. I don't know if this is a good segue into this. We didn't get to this in the last show, and I just didn't want to do it at the end. This is something that I saw on our friend Ron Harris on his page. Check out Ron Harris on Facebook. Look him up on social media. Bodybuilder, coach. Ron's a great guy. He's been covering bodybuilding for decades now, for some of the best places, and now doing it online. Back then we didn't have that. We had magazines, and he was a regular contributor to these best, most well-known bodybuilding magazines. We posted this, and I was like, oh my God. So this, what we're seeing is Mariana, how would you say it? Guayara?
Guayara.
Guayara?
Yeah, it's like
except I didn't know.
It's like guava. Guayara.
You know what? It really makes it hard to do the whole Spanish thing, and if you can't roll your R's. If you can roll your
makes
R's,
your life hard for sure. If you're trying to speak Spanish and can't roll your R's, there's a few letters.
I've noticed that y'all are really great at rolling the R's.
Yeah,
I've never been good at rolling R's.
I think it's definitely like practice though. Practice makes. You might sound stupid at first, but eventually the repetition will make your body roll the R's.
I have to do that.
Just throughout the day, just start saying random words to roll the R's. Get the mouth to kind of get used to the.
Looks like the end of September we're going back to Mexico.
Hell yeah.
So he posted this, and this is, I guess she is an IFBB pro. I wasn't familiar with her. and she's in the physique class, which is a pretty sizable class as far as women go. It's a lot of muscle, where the muscle is, some people like it, some people don't, but it tends to be on the bigger side. Many people say more masculine than feminine. But then again, some people think any muscle on a woman is masculine. It's when you see dumb things people say online and critical, even though it's not my taste, and it's more of my taste and what I look for in a woman, I still respect what these people do as far as putting in the work and to achieve the physiques and things like this. But she has announced that she is going to step on stage with the mustache and beard. And I think it's kind of crazy, honestly, for a couple of reasons. Now, when I competed in the Kentucky Open in 2022, I had earrings in that were steel and were hoops, small hoop, fairly thick hoop, like more like maybe a 10 gauge hoop kind of thing.
Okay.
And, that's why my diamonds now hang a little bit, is because that hole is a little bit stretched because of that. And they were what I would call semi-permanent, meaning that they were put in by the tattoo piercing place and they could take them out. But as far as me taking it out, it wasn't an easy thing to take out. Like you couldn't pull it apart, that kind of thing.
Okay.
And I didn't know that when I showed up to the show that day, that I wasn't allowed to have those. I wasn't allowed to step on stage with those earrings.
The hoop earrings. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think any earrings, but like I said, these would have been nothing. I could just pop them out. And I could still step on stage, but they wouldn't, I wouldn't actually be considered in the competition.
Gotcha.
Like I'm not going to get points and do that kind of thing. And I did all this to be able to step on stage and compete, right? So we were at a convention center in Kentucky. It was Lexington, I believe. And I tracked down some workers in the maintenance department at the convention center.
Okay.
And had a conversation with them, asked them for help. And these guys were super nice. They went to their shop and found some heavy metal, like wire metal cutters.
Like bolt cutters. Yeah.
But small, but big enough to
cut them up.
And I wish I had done a video of it because it would have made for a great TikTok or Instagram video at the time, that me in the bathroom cutting these off and doing it. But yeah, I had to go in the bathroom and cut them off, and I did. Pretty crazy. Now, I also had my nipples pierced for a number of years. And but those had a little ball on the end that you could unscrew and take those out, which I had done. But the earrings, I didn't know. I'm just bringing that up just to point out they have rules. They have rules of what you can and can't do and what you can or can't wear. And I don't know what the rules are regarding this, honestly, but I do know that I think that what's the point of doing this? What's the point of allowing this? I just don't get it. And we look at the other pictures. If you look at her face, she doesn't have an ugly face. But contrast that to what we see with the facial hair. There's nothing attractive about that. And actually, if you just looked at the face, it looks totally like a dude.
It looks, when you first showed me, like where to pull this up. I thought that was a
You
guy.
thought it was I did too. I thought it was a dude in a bikini, right?
Mhm.
But it looks just like a dude. But again, what's the purpose? Is it just to bring attention to yourself?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that was something. Because I mean,
Does it mean your physique's not good enough? But apparently you were supposed to be good enough that you became a pro. You got your pro card, right? I just don't understand, and I don't have enough of the backstory. Maybe we can get Ron or talk to Ron about it. It's such a, even when we've talked to others and did that interview recently, it's such a niche sport, anyways. The sport has had a hard time growing over the years as it's kind of gotten freakier and freakier on the men's side.
mhm.
And that's why, a lot of us that are fans are also big fans of Chris Bumstead, because he's also very big, but not just, he has a great overall physique and symmetry, more online with what they used to do in the 80s or, 70s, 80s, and not just being big. I mean, I totally respect, don't get me wrong, I totally respect Huge. Have nothing but respect for the people in the business like Dorian Yates and Ronnie Coleman and them. But as far as being the face of the sport, Chris Bumstead is much better face of the sport, actually. Something that people like, that crosses boundaries, I guess. This just makes it even harder, I'm thinking. This doesn't make it easier for the sport to attract new fans. And I feel like fitness has been growing over the past few years, that more people are wanting to lose weight, get healthy since the end of COVID, that we do have a little bit of a push like that, a push to eat healthier. We have RFK Jr. and Make America Healthy Again. We have that.
Mhm.
All good things. And, bodybuilding isn't a great example of health necessarily, but a lot of the things they do are and do translate, and the knowledge does also translate. And that's a good thing. And then people start looking into things like this. They start, these are, to me, potential. People who are getting into shape are potential fans of the sport. This is not going to attract anybody to the sport at all. Now, what do you see in the comments? Especially, you can read the comments, right?
Some of them yes, some of them no, because it looks like it's
Because of your Spanglish?
no, because
No.
it's Portuguese.
It's
it's
Portuguese.
and there's a combination between Portuguese, Colombian, and Mexican. So there's some things I can read. There's other things I can't.
Anything interesting?
No, not
No.
necessarily. Just that she's competing in the competition that she's gonna be performing in. There was this little piece right here that had to do with something about the beard itself, but I believe it's in Colombian.
Mm.
So the phrases and the wording is not typically something I can translate 1-to-1 to English, just because it kind of doesn't make 100%. But I was gonna look it up real quick to see if it did mean anything, because the first thing that says is barba y cabello corto, which is the beard and short hair.
Mm-hmm.
So I was gonna look to see exactly what.
It would be interesting. Like, I thought, like, when you were showing more of the videos, multiple videos, when you were on that page
Mhm.
of hers, that it looked like some article that mentioned Lee Priest. And I don't know it would be interesting if he had something to say about it. And we probably should have looked at where it shows all of them. Yeah, like there. What did that say first? Why did that disappear?
It's a
Is it a video? We can't just lock on that front. Yeah, just hold it there. Pick a side nut job. Pick a side nut job.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to. We'll look into it. Maybe follow it a little bit, see what other people are saying about it. But I think it does matter, the presentation of the sport, and it's just not helping the sport in any way or the competitor. Is this what you really want to be known for?
I mean,
Is to be the oddball? That's important.
Attention to her. So I mean, again, sometimes like bad attention, good attention. Attention is attention, right?
I don't know how that's going to work on stage.
Maybe it doesn't have to work. Maybe it's not a stage thing that it needs.
Maybe.
To, like, maybe it's just to bring attention to her, because like we know everything nowadays is.
But I do wonder: are they gonna? I mean, obviously, she must have talked to somebody related to the competition to find out if it's okay to do.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure
But
it is, because I don't see why that would affect. Because that the face doesn't have it. Like if it was like chest hair or something like that.
I don't know. I think it does. I think
because
I think for a while,
mm-hmm.
maybe not so much now,
mm-hmm.
and maybe it depends on what level you're at.
Mm-hmm.
But I think tattoos affected how judges scored people.
Yes, but tattoos are covering the actual muscles that they're kind of judging.
Yeah.
The face, you're not judging a lot of the face.
Okay, but then again, if her body's that good, she doesn't need to do this for attention.
Yeah.
That her body's just good enough.
Yeah, I mean, from what I've been reading, it's just more of like her bodybuilding and her personal life are two separate things. Is how she's from what I can get together.
Is in her personal life, is she transgender? Does she identify as a man?
It doesn't specify, but a lot of the like smaller kind of comments that she's had throughout the post kind of steer towards that. That's more of her personal life. It has nothing to do with her bodybuilding life. Because I mean, even I translated the Portuguese that I kind of looked into, and all it says is, Mariana recently drew attention by growing a beard, something she says she likes and intends to maintain. However, the focus remains on her career and performance in the women's category.
Physique category, yep.
Yeah. So I don't think she's doing this for one way or another. I mean, I could be wrong, but she might just be doing it just to do it because she wants to do it. Is maybe what's going on.
I don't have an answer.
I'm trying to find one. I'm trying to find one for you. But from everything that I'm kind of like reading and seeing, it seems to be like it's just one of those things where they just happen to be doing that. And it doesn't actually have any additional meaning to it, I guess. I'm gonna try to find.
Well, it's not the same as a man participating in a woman or girl's sport.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like that, but it is just odd. It is just weird.
Because she seems to have a
girlfriend.
A girlfriend, correct. So I think it's more of like
she wanted to compete as a man.
That's what some of the comments are saying. Is if she seems to want to be a man, why doesn't she compete with the men?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just think it's not great.
So her story is a reminder that bodybuilding is for everyone, regardless of gender, origin, or career. This sport is built on discipline, passion, and respect. Let's support the effort and dedication of all athletes. Any offensive, discriminatory, Jesus Christ, or disrespectful comments will be deleted. Let's keep a place for admiration and motivation for the fitness community. So, like I said, I think it's definitely more of a situation where that's just happens to be something that she wants to like go about with her day to day life is like have that look of a more of a
Mm-hmm.
male kind of look, and she just happens to be a bodybuilder. Is what I'm putting together. I could be wrong, but this is from
No,
reading the few
no, I
comments
think
and
I
whatnot. That's what
appreciate
I'm
you
assuming.
pulling that up. I absolutely do. Just, yeah.
No, I get you. I get you.
Well, it's just since we've, and I bring it up too because we've been talking about the male cheerleaders
Mhm.
in the NFL, and then, then I didn't even realize. And did people talk about it 3 years ago? I don't remember it being a topic of the Carolina Panthers having the first black trans cheerleader,
Oh wow. Yeah.
right? I don't remember that.
I've actually seen a lot of memes of that come up recently.
Well, and the thing is, with the topic being in the news like it has been because of men in girls sports and things like that, you would have thought, right, that this would have been brought up more,
Mhm.
that we would remember this, and we just don't. We just don't. One of the things I wanted to do, I don't know if we'll do this regularly or not, but one of the things I wanted to do was kind of show how crazy X is a little bit, right? And X is crazy. I think I have it on here too. That so you're at the For You page, right?
Mhm.
Let me see if I pull up the same one. This, I don't need this. So, yeah, I mean, I encourage people to follow me on X. I'm making um, a lot of posts, my own content. I'm not just reposting other people's shit. And then I also comment on other people's stuff, quite a bit. Can you go to it would be my profile page. So if you click on the me icon, right? Yeah, so go down, yep, keep going, scroll right there. That this is something that I posted that was really interesting that I want to just show a little bit about what's going on X and the craziness out there. So somebody posted this and then I shared it and made a comment, which is above it. Michael McFall is the one you see that posted this. And you see what you would guess to be a Ukrainian plane and Zelensky getting off the plane. And it says, no red carpet, no greeting for Trump. Well, one of the great things about X now
Mhm.
is it also allows when people post really bad stuff that's bad information or really easily proven as false or a lie,
Mhm.
that readers can add context to it. And then you can also vote and say if it was helpful for you to know this as part of the information. Now, when you just look at it, uh, when I first look at it, you're like, yeah, that could be true, right? If you just saw that, you're like, yeah, that could be true. But then if you look underneath and what readers added context to this is a picture of him landing in Saudi Arabia in 2024. Absolutely nothing to do with Trump. And this is going on now a lot. Maybe it happens on all sides, but it really happens a lot with liberals posting things like this. And my question always is, if Trump is so bad, why do you have to make up fake shit? Why can't you post real shit to attack him instead of making something up that absolutely didn't happen here? No, I'm not saying that he rolled out the red carpet for him or anything, but he did greet him. He did greet him when he came. I saw video of that. But this is absolutely just false. Why do you have to make stuff up if the person is as bad as you say? You shouldn't have to make it up. Use the truth. Use the truth. But this just makes the person who and if I posted this, and if I made a mistake like this, it would be a mistake. I would never post something like this on purpose. And I too do try to fact check my stuff and other people's stuff before I post it, or I see even a friend. I see conservative friends share stuff all the time. And even though they're conservatives and I like the person, I will point out, like, that's not true, dude. I checked it out. It's something we would like to be true.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you're sharing it, because we hope that it would be true, but it's really not. It was one recently was about Apple and Apple doing its production here in the United States.
Okay.
And the truth is, it's about glass production for their phones.
Not the
that they're moving that. It's not the whole phone is not being made in the United States. Now, it's good that some of the components that they need are being made here.
Mm-hmm.
That's great, man. It is good. But when you're putting out there that, oh, this and this, we don't need to lie about it. Tell the truth. The truth is, yeah, some pressure was put on them to move production back here, and they are moving some production back here. But no, they are not building the entire phone here. We don't need to lie about it. And sometimes, again, the person isn't lying. They just didn't fact check the thing that they shared.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, to me, I say this all the time. I don't always know the right answer, but I am very my bullshit radar is good. Where something just raises up like, that doesn't sound right. No, it doesn't sound right that Sylvester Stallone turned down to $150 million to work with some liberal because he said, fuck them. You'd love that to be true. But no, that didn't happen. He didn't do it, and the other actors, and then they rotate people that they say did that. Just like recently, they rotated athletes who, they took their bonus and fed the homeless or made some grand gesture like that. No, they didn't. And they basically used the same format and almost all the same words in every one. Mm-hmm. They just kept changing the person. And it was clickbait. It was to click because people will click on, oh, that's so nice. It's so good to see an athlete do that and care about the people. And that's where, like I said, it gets frustrating for me, mm-hmm. is because fake shit gets liked and shared more than legit real content that I actually work on and put some effort in, that you put effort in. Like it is frustrating. But here I just wanted to show on this just some different things that they say on X. How about this? Let's go back to home. Yep. Charlie Kirk. So this happened too. I saw that this happened. Charlie Kirk posted this past weekend, and made a comment, a short little one-line comment about Jesus or about faith in Jesus, and Lamar Jackson, the
Mhm.
MVP quarterback from the Baltimore Ravens, shared it. People flipped, well, liberals
Mhm.
flipped the fuck out. Like, how would you ever, you know, retweet Charlie Kirk? Because Lamar Jackson is also a really good dude and a Christian, and he liked the message. That's why. But see, he's not allowed to have that message. See, you're not in the black community. You get attacked like he was attacked if you don't fall in line and do what everybody else does. It's just insane what they do. But that is for sure a good example. Um, no, that's not it. I have got the home. Oh, now we go to the for you and following. Are you there? Yeah, you're there already. Then can you refresh it? Yeah, I thought you'd have the same thing as me if you Oh, you're on following. Go to the for you. Then move it. There we go. So now we're both looking at the same thing. Makes it easier. Yeah, I don't want to get into the whole slavery thing today. My God. Oh, this is good. So we have Senator Mazie Hirono right here posting, senator from the great state of Hawaii. And I do not understand why Hawaiians pick people like this to represent them. But her comment, Trump and his America First policies, hiking healthcare premiums. You know what's hiking healthcare premiums? And I see a lot of people commenting about healthcare recently in the past couple of days about health insurance going up. The health insurance, I mean, it was voted on, and Republicans said they were going to repeal it. And that was something that was supposed to happen in Trump's first term and didn't, right? You know what it was called? Obamacare. There's nothing that Trump has done. There's no new policies related to healthcare that they've implemented. Now, there were some things that they did related to Medicare and Medicaid and the qualifications for Medicaid, and that if you're a single bodied individual or an able bodied individual and single, that you should put in 20 hours of work, remember, a
Mhm.
week. But that's not the same thing as this. If healthcare premiums, one of the things that Obamacare didn't do was bring the cost of health insurance down. It didn't do that. And in fact, they didn't even negotiate drug prices back then. Trump has did a little bit on that. Even Biden, I'll even give Biden credit. Biden did some on that, work on that, trying to bring prescription drug costs down. But Obamacare didn't do anything for that. And there again, there's no new policy that's been. She couldn't cite a policy if I asked her because there isn't any that's making it go up. Imposing tariffs and driving up costs for consumers and businesses. We already know that you can keep saying it's going to happen, but until it does, you got to chill the fuck out. What we do know is that the tariffs have generated money into the U.S. Treasury, and the amount of costs being passed along to the consumer in some cases is zero and up to around 20%. And it just depends on the product. There's also competition out there that they have to keep in mind that they can't just raise the price and pass 100% of it along because maybe people will make another choice and buy a product from somewhere else, or maybe a similar product that's made in the United States that may have been, say $10 more, $15 more than the foreign made product. But now because of the tariff, the foreign made product's $50 more. So people are going to switch over to the other one. Well, they don't want to lose market share. So they're only going to pass along the $10, and now they're the equivalent of the American one, if that makes sense.
I get you.
That's what happens. There's adjustments that are made, and we don't know how it's all going to play out, but we do know all of the craziness that people were predicting is not. Now, the energy bills, that's a real thing. And I wish the Trump administration would talk about it because there's an answer for it. And thankfully, we should be really grateful that this is a president that believes in all energy on the table. He wants nuclear. He wants natural gas. He wants to be building these plants and facilities around the country, and we need to fast. I don't really like what's going on. I think that businesses should have to pay a bigger share of the burden right now. And I don't think they are, because it's businesses that are driving up the cost of energy right now. And in particular, AI. It's these AIs that are drawing tremendous amounts of energy that it takes to run their computers and their facilities to do all this shit that's driving up the energy costs for everyone. So what best way to combat that, obviously, and the things Trump was doing before this, we felt this effect, was to lower energy. One of the best ways you can help the average American person is cut their energy costs.
That makes sense.
Gasoline, whatever, because it's instant. It's boom, versus a tax deduction that you might not make the adjustment for, so you're not going to see that money until you file your taxes, unless you change your, W-9, when most people won't do that, right? So, yeah, the energy thing is a real thing, but the Trump administration should be talking about it and how they're going to address it and see if there's a short-term fix. And again, even this senator, she points out all these things to attack Trump. Not anywhere in her little post does she offer any type of solution. Where is she? Why not saying, energy bills are going up because of AI, and because the amount that businesses are using, that cost is being passed along to everyone. And I would like to work with the president and Republicans on seeing what we can do to reduce those energy costs. That's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to work together to find an answer. And we don't do that. But that one actually is true. Raising grocery costs. The thing that hasn't happened and Trump did say this, and I'll give him this, he didn't lie, but he's wrong so far, is some things that were like really crazy out of control, like egg prices, have come down. They have come down. But the costs or the inflation, the increases that happened from 21, 22, and 23, those were the 3 high years where prices really went up a lot. Okay. We're not back to levels pre that time period. What's happened now, and he said, lower costs, and maybe what he has done is the policies have stopped the rate of inflation from being so ridiculous and been back down lower to the 2 or 3% a year. So that's why people haven't seen a difference. They haven't seen costs go down, but they're also not seeing costs go up like they were. That has stopped. And there's a difference. And you have to acknowledge that, because you don't want to make the mistakes that Democrats made and say, oh no, the economy's good. You're just imagining the pain you feel when people are really feeling some pain. And even though it doesn't matter to me personally or affect me personally in what I buy and what I do, don't think I don't notice. I do shop for my own groceries, okay? And Dawn. And I do think it's crazy sometimes to drop $150 and have 3 bags of shit and be like, holy fuck. You know what? That's why I've given up and go out to eat. Like, fuck it. Why do I need to cook food and throw food away? And I can afford to go out to eat. I'll just go out to eat. I don't know.
Honestly, yeah.
That's it. Um, so let's do this. Let's go into the comments of hers. Just want to see some crazy shit. Or share some crazy stuff with y'all. There we go. Did you get her comments? You got to click on.
Yeah, these are all the
main
comments.
Mm,
Are you talking about the?
of Senator Hirose. You got to click on her.
Oh, like on her?
No, not on
profile?
her. Nope. Go back.
Like this is the
That
post.
the body part.
These,
click at those.
These are all the comments.
Well, because I would have the same one. Okay, yeah, I do got it. Okay, I see it now. Let's see. Crypto TK421. You raise our taxes, you sell us out, send our jobs away. The ACA is on you. You're bought and paid for. You're a fucking lying bitch. Does anybody listen to this nut job, Mazie Hirono? This is actually very good. Did Democrats have anything to do with the cost of living during the last administration? Did they cause prices on everything to go up? I know whoever writes these for you won't answer because you would have to admit that Democrats messed up big time with the last administration. Let's see. Quit lying. Democrat policies have done all this. You fuckwits and your Obamacare doubled my premiums. It's just off the chain, man. There is no filter on this at all. Why are you drinking this early in the morning? Oh, that's funny. All right, let's see. I want to find scroll down to somebody else. So they're all getting on the Gavin Newsom bandwagon now because Gavin Newsom is their savior because he's posting things that are mocking Trump, and they're loving this, and they think we're being triggered by it when we don't care. When we also know that Trump is not going to be on the ballot in 2028. Gavin Newsom is making a mistake trying to run against Trump right now. That's not going to be his opponent. His opponent's either going to be J.D. Vance or Marco Rubio, most likely, one of those two. He should focus on them. Just nut stuff. Let's see. Brian Allen, dude that I'm on. Just under that. Yep, there you go. Josh Shapiro didn't nibble. He said it plain. The president cannot erase mail-in ballots with a pen. States run elections. Congress set the federal rules. The military, seniors, working parents use vote by mail because it works. Trump is selling fantasy. Courts will shred it. Well, mail-in ballots in general. I mean, I'm still for absentee ballots, but there used to be rules to that. When you did an absentee ballot, you had to state a reason. Now you could make up one, but you had to state a reason. You had to actually go get the ballot and show your identity. And then when you returned it, you had to show your identity again when you returned it. That's all. So I'm not against that. I'm not against somebody being able to vote that way. But when you send out ballots to people, when you haven't cleaned up voter rolls and you just mass mail out ballots, whether somebody wants to vote by mail or not, that just doesn't seem like a good thing. How about pull up ballot stuffing in Michigan? Trying to remember the name of the town. Ballot stuffing in Michigan this past 30 days. See if that pulls up. There's a story out that is being... There you go. New York Post. Pull that up. And especially in something like this, where there's like a few thousand voters, if somebody stuffs a ballot, it can make a big difference. Pretty fucking easy, right? Yeah, a Michigan City Council member was caught on camera stuffing a drop box with absentee ballots days before he won his re-election bid in a local primary. Hamtramck City Council member Abu Musa was seen in the passenger seat of a car, handing stacks of paper to the car's driver, who then dumped them into a nearby ballot box. Musa held on to his re-election spot in the primary 4 days later, beating out 11 other candidates with 1,129 votes. So is that a video or is that just a picture there? That's
This
just
one's
a picture. Yeah, do they have video? Did they share the video that they have? Yeah, I don't know. I don't want the video of Putin and stuff. Yeah, that's not what I want.
That's nothing to do with.
Yeah, it doesn't have anything to do with it. He would have placed fifth without the absentee ballots. What it said there.
Just a picture.
Yeah, so this is just a small example, but he actually went and did this where he was caught doing this twice. Twice. That they actually, he may have done it more, but it's twice where he was where he was caught doing it. Yeah. So that's when anybody can take and return your ballot, that's what you have. Again, I can understand if it's an elderly person and, one of the things you could easily do, it's almost like picking up a prescription for someone. Sometimes you might have to sign for it, right? You might have to sign for it so that the record that this person did that. So, yeah, does they have this? Go ahead. Is that this guy? Yeah, go ahead and play it. I spoke too fast.
Footage as a passenger in a black car handing over an application for election fraud in Michigan while being investigated by police for residence issues in the majority Muslim community. The Hamtramck City Councilman is accused of ballot stuffing in a tight primary race. Musa is now under active investigation for election fraud just days after he advanced. This after he was caught on surveillance footage as a passenger in a black car, handing over and depositing 3 large stacks of absentee ballots into a city drop box just days before the vote. This comes as a bigger probe into corruption and voter irregularities in the Detroit area city is being conducted. The video, time-stamped shortly before the primary, shows a man that appears to be Musa feeding the driver envelopes, who then deposits them into the drop box. Michigan law prohibits people from dropping off multiple ballots. Musa advanced to the November general election, securing 1,053 votes, just dozens more than
In
some
some
of his
areas, they're
competitors,
allowed to
where
do that.
absentee
It's called
ballots were
ballot
critical in
harvesting.
the outcome. This isn't the first
Really?
scandal for
Yeah.
Musa.
It's different rules because, Josh Shapiro in what I was reading on X, that this person was pointing out and posting the video of Josh Shapiro, the governor of Pennsylvania, is correct. It's their elections are run by the states. So we have many different rules. We have some states that require ID, and we have some that don't require any ID, and some, like, it can be some other kind of form where, I don't know, maybe it's an electric bill that you live there or something like that. There are some states like that too.
I'm like
a little
proof-
bit looser.
proof of or
Yeah.
something, whatever.
Mm-hmm. But I think they're taking what Trump was saying the other day and making it Trump. Why would Trump want to take away mail-in ballots for military? He wouldn't, because we already know that probably 70% of the military vote Republican. He wouldn't want to do that. And nobody should want to do that, take that vote away from people who serve. Nobody should want to take somebody's vote away from anybody that's an American citizen. But it is crazy when you have to show ID for literally everything in life except for voting, which is something that is so important. And I'm all for giving people, like, don't tell me about cost. We'll give you we already waste enough money. We'll give you a free ID. Problem solved, because I don't want to hear about it. I really don't. But no, that's not what Trump is looking to do, but is looking to try to put pressure on states and places so that certain things, like what we just saw in Michigan, and even in Michigan, you heard that it's not allowed to do the ballot harvesting or to deliver multiple ones. It shouldn't be allowed anywhere. But in some places it is. Mm-hmm. Because there is that greater potential for fraud. Nobody should want that fraud, or I don't know how people want to defend against it. And whatever someone else's ideas, again, join together, come up with a solution. What's your solution to making sure that these kinds of things don't happen? Democrats are still, you can find on here, I was looking at today on the way over here, something about a whistleblower and NASA, and they believe that Elon Musk used Starlink to fuck with voting machines to elect Donald Trump. Crazy shit, dude. Unlike Republicans who believed what they saw, which was an election counting being shut down and then somebody pulling suitcases out from under a table in Georgia, mm-hmm. and all of a sudden processing those ballots when nobody was around. We had video of that. It looked weird, right? No, this is just total crazy conspiracy stuff, but it's okay for Democrats. It's always okay for Democrats to say an election was stolen, but it's never okay for a Republican. How dare he? How dare Trump say this? That's what caused January. It caused J6, but they're allowed to do it. Hillary did it. Hillary did it in 2016. That Stacey Abrams, who has tried to run for governor in Georgia and lost, I don't know, twice. Same thing. She she was an election denier. She said the election was stolen, right? So it's okay when they do it. But that's it right there. They actually believe Elon Musk stole the election. Well, if they really believe that he was able to do that with the machines and his technology, then isn't Trump right about actually having real ballots that are watermarked paper and that, have the codes or whatever on it that you slide into count? And the bottom line is, if you do a recount, you can do it individually. You can go back and an actual human can verify it versus a machine. You actually have that proof. So I don't get it. If they think that it happened or that Trump got elected because of Elon Musk, then they should be all about this, getting rid of this stuff. just crazy. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to point some of this crazy stuff out. Did you see this is good? Oh my God. This is some Annie that I scrolled down. She's a nut job on here. Breaking. Democratic Representative Nicole Collier is officially suing Republicans for locking her in the Texas House chamber. So she had to, this Nicole Collier, you can, how about search her? What happened is the Democrats came back from Illinois or wherever they were. They came back to Texas, right? And they came back because the special session was ended. Well, the Texas governor is going to do another special session. But now that they're back, they made them sign like some kind of waiver for them to be able to leave and go home. They have to like be accompanied by a guard, basically.
Okay.
To make sure that they come back for the vote and don't take off again. And because they had done this, well, she was the only one that didn't want to sign it. So apparently they just let her sleep in the chamber and locked her in there. She wasn't allowed to leave. Let's see, the Texas Tribune. Pull up the Texas Tribune one. Yeah. Shadowed by state police, a requirement for lawmakers who had left the state over the GOP redistricting plan. That is pretty, whatever you think of it, it is pretty, it is a slick trick by the Republicans to lock them in.
Inside, yeah.
Or to just the deal, to get them to sign, to agree to it. They're not going to get out of this. This is going to be done. The redistricting is going to happen. And then Gavin Newsom can do whatever he's going to do with California. But he has to put it on a ballot because the rules in California don't allow him to redistrict right now. And they have an independent commission. So they're going to have to suspend the independent commission, and then and voters of the state have to approve of doing that for them to be able to redistrict now, to go against their current rules, to change their current rules. And there's a chance that may not happen. I mean, it'll be put to a vote if he really wants to do it.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, he may not win the vote. I've seen polls go both ways on this, where a lot of people who are in the middle that are moderates, they like that there's an independent commission. They don't want to go back. And apparently that was something that was done during Arnold Schwarzenegger's time as governor of California. Something that he got done. And he's even been speaking up about it. Like, hey, we did this and it was a good thing. This is how it's supposed to be. Don't change it. So that will be interesting because really Arnold isn't a hardcore conservative or Republican, and I don't think he necessarily cares a great deal about Donald Trump. So, but on this particular issue, it's his issue. He's going to defend his issue. He's going to defend what one of the things that he helped
Build.
get done.
Yeah.
And people like him, what they're basically saying is instead of changing, the change should be more states being like us, having this independent commission versus doing it in this partisan way that's being done now by both sides,
Gotcha.
which kind of hard to argue with that, isn't it?
Mhm.
A little bit. It seems like that's kind of a reasonable thing. And even if California was able to do it, again, because they've gerrymandered so much and they did it first, there's very few seats that they can squeeze out. They can maybe squeeze out another 5 in California or whatever it is. But the Republicans can also do it in some other places, like I think I seen Indiana, like Florida, and there were a few others where they would rather not do it. But if they're forced to do it, if Gavin Newsom does it, then it's everybody escalating it, right? And the Republicans actually have some room that when it's all said and done, they're still going to end up with more. So you can either give them the 5 more now, or you can all fight it and put all this effort into it, and they're still going to end up with 5 or 10 more or whatever the number is, because some of the states, like in Illinois, has very because there are so few Republican seats, they can't squeeze out anymore. They already did it. And it's not a good look. People that didn't know anything about redistricting or gerrymandering are now learning about it. And if they learn about it, they're also going to learn who did it first, who did it more, that kind of thing. So I did think this was funny. And I just see what the comments are. There we go. Comments supporting her. Good, so she should. It was a disgraceful and slightly sinister episode that all Republicans should be ashamed of. Does that mean I can sue the Commonwealth of Massachusetts for forcing me to wear a mask during COVID or not having parties? And if you have one of these parties, the police will arrest you? Yeah. Oh, one of the other dudes that's just insane is Brian Krasenstein. It's like these 2 young dudes, him and his brother. Everything is breaking with them. Breaking news. They just say crazy shit.
What was the last name? Sorry, Brian what?
Krasenstein, Krassensestein. You're on X? Yep.
Oh, like on
why?
his actual
Yeah.
Bryan.
Krass.
No, first name Brian, just
Brian.
Bryan.
BRI. But this is the kind of thing they post. Hitler didn't start with camps. He started with make Germany great again. Really? Was that a thing? Make Germany great again? I find that hard to believe. Banning books. Banning books. Yeah, banning books has been a topic this past week.
What books are they wanting to ban?
Well, it was I believe it was in Florida that has been where they've been doing this. And apparently, yeah, you got to put recent, and like I said, Florida, there was, remember, it wasn't Helen Keller, was it somebody else? Go down, see if it. Scroll down. Yeah, there you go. And the Diary of Anne Frank. So here's the deal about the Diary of Anne Frank, because
it's fake or something, or what?
What's that?
Are they saying there was fake or something?
No, the Diary of Anne Frank's been around for decades, but there was a second book that came out that was like a fictional version of the Diary of Anne Frank, or like some kind of crazy updated version. And in the crazy updated version, it had a bunch of sexual weird shit that wasn't in the original Diary of Anne Frank.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but the way that some people portray it, you would think that people are trying to ban this book, and they're not. They're just trying to get the crazy one out of elementary schools or whatever. I mean, it's not banned where people can't get it at all or things like that. It's about what do little kids have access to, more than anything else.
Like in the actual school systems, not necessarily in the entirety of the state of Florida. I get you.
Yeah, and I had no idea, but again, it was not the original version. And so when so that's what you'll see on X, kind of like that adding context, and that's how I learned about it, is because people who did the research were able to point out they didn't ban the real book. It's like, again, like an offshoot, like some kind of second type of book that's weird. I don't know. Just throwing it out there. But yeah, banning books, targeting the press. Do people forget that Biden also had members of the press that he didn't like? And what member of the press look this up, what member of the press did Biden call a son of a bitch or some other derogatory name? I think it was Peter Doocy or somebody like that, maybe. Stupid son of a bitch. And I don't know, who was it? Oh, was that?
This was a few years ago, though.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah, it was. Look at them all wearing masks around there. But Biden isn't.
I don't like doing this is you never report on why I've called a meeting. And this is really important. I had a very, very, very good meeting, total unanimity with all the European leaders. We'll talk about it later. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's a great asset. More inflation. What a stupid son of a bitch.
Still didn't tell me who it was, but I think that's Peter Doocy looking at the picture. Yeah, it says there, Peter Doocy on the YouTube thing. It says Fox News reporter Peter Doocy. But I'm just pointing out that if Trump says something about a reporter, it's this great big deal. He's not stopping them from reporting. They're not getting shut down. Their right to say whatever they want about him isn't taken away. He's just throwing in his 2 cents. They're allowed to say what they say, and the president, any president, is allowed to say what they want to say back. And Trump isn't the only president that said things about the press. We could do a search and find things that Obama had issues with the press.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they even put one in jail. Okay. Trump has not put any reporter in jail. All right. That's not a thing. Let's see. Blaming immigrants. They don't want to make a distinction between legal and illegal. Creating enemies from neighbors. We're just trying to get them to do the right thing. Defunding the arts. I don't know if we're defunding the arts. Really? Stoking fear of outsiders, demonizing educators. Those are the things that Hitler started with. Well, if you don't agree that our education sucks, I don't know what to tell you. It does. And I've had a number of friends and family members, my best friend who was a teacher throughout my life, and I don't want to put all teachers in a box, so to speak, but I do want to say, and I do point out that it is a shame that teachers as a whole aren't looking out for the kids, that the voices, the teachers union, and I blame more the teachers union than I do the teachers. And there's good ones and bad ones out there, obviously. I've always said that. I think there's about 20% of teachers that are really great teachers. I think there's 60% that are kind of in the middle. They do the job. They're not great teachers that are going to change your life, but they meet the requirement of doing the job. And then there's a bottom 20% that suck. And like any business, you should be able to cull those people out. You should be able to get rid of them. And it's very, very hard to do because of the union. That doesn't make things better or better for the kids. I don't know. Just some thoughts for today. On X, Cory Booker, Senator Donald Trump promised to secure a ceasefire between Hamas and Israel in his first week in office. And now Secretary of State Rubio is compounding this administration's failure of leadership with the policy that lives Gazans who qualify for temporary medical and humanitarian visas out. Trump said it the other day when talking about Russia and Ukraine that he thought it was going to be one of the easier conflicts to resolve. And he's basically admitting he was wrong. He didn't say I was wrong, but he basically said it isn't. It isn't easier. Mm-hmm. It's way harder than I thought it was going to be. I thought we would be able to do it. But that hasn't stopped him from trying to do it. He's done it anyways. And pretty much it's in this country, not other places. It's in this country that you see people like a Cory Booker who are really want to see the administration fail when it comes to Ukraine and Russia, with Israel and the Palestinians over Gaza. But nobody's been trying to work harder the whole time on both. Biden's plan was real simple. Keep feeding them money and weapons as much as they need to fight against Russia or to take Russia out or till you get... And we're 3.5 years in. And most Americans, we don't want another Afghanistan where we're spending money and trillions of dollars over 10, 15 years. And then what did we get for it? What did we get for building the schools in Afghanistan that when we left, they take over and don't allow girls again to go to those schools? What did we accomplish there? Nothing. We spent a shitload of money and got nothing out of that. We don't want to do that anymore. We don't want to fight. Americans don't want to do, if it's something that where we're threatened, we don't have a problem with it. But if it's somebody else's issue, well, that's their issue. It's not ours. It's not ours. And Europe wasn't standing up or doing a damn thing until Trump forced their hand to do so. It's yours. You spend the money. Now, instead of us just giving them, like Europe had made deals with Ukraine where they gave them loans and they're supposed to be paid back. Maybe they will, maybe they won't be, but that was their deals. And all of our deals were just giving them money, and it wasn't a loan, and we just give you the money. What the president has done now is worked it out to where the Europeans have to buy the weapons from us, and then they can do whatever they want with them. They can give them to Ukraine if that's what they want to do with them. But we're not giving them. We're being paid by Europe for those weapons, and Europe was only contributing less than 2% of their GDP to NATO. Now they've agreed to spend up to 5%. Well, this will count towards that increase for them, that they're spending more money on their own defense or, that area instead of us just taking care of it. Because when we take care of it, well, that's what's crazy and why people get upset is why do these foreign countries have health care paid for and we don't? That's why. Because we're paying their war bills. We're paying for their defense. And because they don't have to, they can put money there. I'm not saying they're going to take it away from their people, but I'm just saying they have the ability when less of the money is going to their Department of Defense, they have money to be able to do those kinds of things. And we don't. We're broke. That's the bottom line. We're broke, so why are we continuing to do this or fund these things? And at least in this case, we're at least getting something out of it, not giving it away. I don't know. I think that's where I'm at on it. All right. That's what I got for today. I didn't kind of weaving around. But nothing was sticking out in particular. I just wanted to give people a little bit of a backstory and things I look at, and I didn't even get to some of the more crazy things when it comes to X. But check it out for yourself. It really is a cesspool of shit. It honestly is. A lot of all the crazy is on there. I can promise you that. All right, that's what I got for today. We'll be back again Friday morning. Please hit the like. Please hit the subscribe. Please share. Share with us in the comments what you think about the topics, things you'd like us to talk about. We love your feedback and appreciate it. This is the Outlaw Apostle Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Neff. I'm the fucking guy.